My 2025 financial goals. Where did I pass? Where did I fail, falling flat on my face? And what did I actually learn this year? Sharing with you absolutely everything in this episode right now. Welcome back to SugarMamma's Fireplay, the podcast where we ignite your financial independence, fuel your early retirement goals and dreams, and hopefully I'm helping you build lasting financial wealth and independence, one mindful step at a time. I am your host, Canna Campbell. I'm a financial planner, I'm an author, and I am a mother. And I'm someone who deeply believes that success isn't always about being perfect. It's about progress, yes, but it's also about having that awareness within yourself and living with authenticity and having the courage and resilience to keep growing and going when it feels like everything is stopping you and getting in your way. Now, earlier this year, I shared with you my 5 financial goals for 2025. And yes, these goals, I was very nervous about sharing this, by the way. They were quite ambitious, but I was really excited about these goals, and I was really excited about hitting the ground running and giving these goals a really good crack. And as you will hear right now today, this has been a humbling experience because whilst I have achieved some of these goals, I stumbled with some of these goals, and some of these goals I had to pivot, and some of these goals I completely failed at. But this is exactly why we set goals. It's not about, earning gold stars and pleasing people around us or even ourselves and about ticking boxes, but it's actually about becoming more self-aware, way more aligned to our value system and understanding who we are and living in the most intentional way possible so that we can take everything that we gain and then use it to our advantage to become a better person for the following year. So today, I'm proud to share with you and take you behind the scenes of my own personal financial life and share with you exactly how I tracked, what I passed, and what I failed at, embarrassingly. And most importantly, the lessons that have really helped reshape me this year. So let's get cracking. All right, goal number 1, and that was to create $100,000 in equity to then go and invest through a debt recycling strategy for the $1,000 project. Now, I'm proud to say that I created that equity. Yes, $100,000 equity this year, but guess what? That equity is not just from natural growth, as in the value of my home going up, but actually I've created that $100,000 separately through intentional extra repayments on our home loan whenever I could. Even if it meant paying an extra $100, I transferred it. Even if it was $1,000, I just transferred it. I didn't care. The moment I could do it, I transferred it against our home loan. And I can proudly say that $100,000 is sitting there in our redraw facility, ready to go. But I haven't used it yet. I haven't pulled the trigger. I haven't called up Adam, my mortgage broker, and said, "Hey, we've paid an extra I've paid an extra $100,000 off our home loan. Can we now, have that taken out and switched over into a separate investment loan so I can go shopping for shares?" I haven't done that part yet. That money is sitting there, and that is a conscious decision. You see, debt recycling is incredibly powerful when you use it in the right way at the right time for the right reasons. And it's a strategy that I've used for many, many years, and it's how I've managed to build my own financial wealth and independence. But as I've also explained, debt recycling is risky. It's not for everyone because it obviously magnifies the gains, but it also magnifies the losses. Right now, there is a lot of things going on. We did have interest rates shifting down. Now it looks like they may even be shifting up. And the current economic climate is feeling a little bit uncertain. So I have made the deliberate decision, after chatting with Tom, to just press pause. And this is not a decision that's coming out of fear, but one actually that's coming out of wisdom. There is no doubt about it. I will definitely be implementing this debt recycling strategy of the $100,000. No doubt, absolutely. But I'm only going to do it when I feel 100% confident, both emotionally and financially. So, whilst I haven't technically perfectly ticked this goal off my list, and to be really honest with you, there is taking everything within my body, not to just go ring up Adam and say, let's do it, get that money organized, get the bank to take the 100,000 and organize that separate investment loan so I can go and start buying shares and track my passive income and see it grow and see my wealth grow. Yes, I really want to do it and I want to feel proud about properly achieving that goal. But something within my gut is telling me I won't regret holding tight. So you could say I maybe half past this. I got a 50% pass mark. But this is what I've learned and I've been, I guess, reminded of. And that is patience and self-control is a financial skill. And wealth grows, and it grows efficiently when you make informed decisions that are aligned and intentional against your financial goals and dreams. It is not about exercising your financial goals in an aggressive, high-speed strategy. I need to make sure that I do this when I am 100% ready. And right now, I'm not. So in the meantime, that $100,000 is sitting in our redraw facility. It's still working for us because it's helping us obviously save time and money against our home loan. So it's not doing any harm at all. But again, it's one of those things that I've had to learn this year. It's not about ticking goals off perfectly. Goal number 2. So this was to go on a family holiday to Hong Kong and to go skiing in Queenstown, New Zealand. Now, this was a financial goal, yes, because it obviously costs money, but this was really about creating memories. Now, what happened? How could I not get this right? So, especially when we actually had paid for this holiday up front. So Giuseppe, my beautiful chocolate Labrador, he got really sick and he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I had to cancel the trip to Hong Kong 2 weeks before we were about to leave, and we stayed home with him. I did not leave him alone at all. I had someone tag teaming if I had to leave the house that would come and sit with him and be with him. And we stayed close to him nonstop, literally around the clock. So sadly, he then passed away. And we had, I don't have any regrets about having to cancel the family trip to Hong Kong. But then we got hit with another thing. Queenstown fell through. We had paid for it all up front. We were ready to go. The kids were excited. My 2 daughters have never seen snow, and Rocco was so excited about getting back into skiing again. But there was no snow yet for the time that we'd booked. And we spoke to people, and they're like, it's not worth coming all the way here. There's just not enough snow yet to justify it. And then we thought, okay, it's fine. We'll just rebook a month later, and there'll definitely be snow. But then we ran into co-parenting challenges, which I'll just leave at that. So, yes, I failed at this goal. And I feel like I really let my family down by these 2 situations that I had no control over, but they were just a part of life. So personally, it felt like a bit of a sacred alignment because I got time with Tom. Now, also, I'm quite a spiritual person. I'm a big believer in that, the universe redirects you and steps in, and things always work out for a reason. And sometimes there is a message there for you to just be still, be present, and cherish the things that really matter in life, particularly as we were losing Giuseppe. But there was a bit of a funny twist after all of this disappointment had passed with 2 cancelled holidays. And Tom's old accountant Tom's new accountant had discovered that his old accountant had missed something quite important. And we discovered an old tax bill. Now, had we gone on both trips to Hong Kong and Queenstown skiing, the timing of this old tax bill would have been absolutely awful and would have created a lot of unnecessary financial stress. So it was a kind of a blessing in disguise because we were able to address that bill, not worry about having to go backwards financially and, take out debt. We were able to quickly knock it on the head. So it kind of worked out for the best, and we ended up rebooking Hong Kong. We rebooked at a better time, and the weather was so much better. It actually was a little bit cheaper, and my kids actually, because we booked at a different time, it actually meant that I could properly switch off and be even more present rather than having to wake up early in the morning and clear my work emails. I was able to actually properly prepare and really switch off whilst we're in Hong Kong. And we even, made a bit of an adventure of it and actually went into China as well, which we hadn't previously planned or even thought about doing previously. So verdict, okay, I failed, but I failed with gratitude to the universe for actually redirecting and protecting us and giving us that time with Giuseppe, because it would have been absolutely awful if I'd gone to Hong Kong and Giuseppe had passed away whilst I was gone. I would never have forgiven myself. And yep, the trip to New Zealand, not great, but you know what? We can rebook again next year and we can be more informed about when we want to book and make sure that there is definitely going to be plenty of snow. So what did I learn? Well, I learned that financial goals have got to serve your life, but sometimes things don't happen for a reason. And that is because something better is coming your way or perhaps even just around the corner. So yes, I'm sad, but I have a feeling it's just going to be fine. Goal number 3, and this was to renovate our kitchen that was falling apart and is still falling apart. So I failed at this. We did not renovate our kitchen. And yes, I still curse at my kitchen every time I go to open the pantry door or drawer and something falls off. But again, the universe has better things in plan for you sometimes. Instead of renovating the kitchen, we're actually getting a swimming pool. I'm so excited about this. I've never had a swimming pool before. And we're getting a beautiful outdoor entertainment area. We're going to get a spa. We're going to put it in an outdoor sauna. And we've got a landscape architect to do this incredible design with landscaping and with all these beautiful succulents, which are my favorite plants. Now, this has been a big goal of mine. Like one of my big life goals is to have a home with a swimming pool. And I always said to Tom, I won't stop until I get a swimming pool. So I've been dreaming about this for so many years, and I am so excited about this. So no, we haven't started the swimming pool yet. We're still waiting for our construction certificate, which I believe is just around the corner, but we've got the builder lined up. I've paid the deposit. The designs have been done. Like, we're very close and we are ready to pay for this in full. And I'm excited. So I had to accept, okay, we're putting aside the kitchen, but this is a swimming pool. My kids can come home from school and they can jump in at the pool and invite all their friends over and we can have a fantastic time. They can play together. We can sit around the entertainment area and have friends over and, having a spa and a sauna means we can really prioritize our health and well-being and unwinding and create a really fantastic, beautiful place to make memories. So, with this goal is definitely a pivot, but it's a really good pivot and I'm really excited about this. And we're building, something for our home that actually feels like a massive lifestyle goal. So the verdict here, it's kind of a fail turned win. And what have I learned? Well, I've learned that you're allowed to let your goals evolve. And pivoting is definitely not failure. It's actually alignment, because this goal and the success of this goal is actually way more aligned to who Tom and I stand for and our value system about health and well-being and the importance of having a connected, happy, healthy family. Goal number 4, publish my next book. So this one, to get straight to the point, is a bit of a pass and a fail, but actually in the best way possible. So I completed writing my next book, my 3rd book, Financial Freedom, which is all about how to build a diversified share portfolio and financial independence through growing passive income streams via dividends. Now, I wrote this book, but something in my gut jumped out and I decided to not go down the traditional, publishing path. I want to self-publish. And as I was getting the book ready to self-publish, I had a bit of a light bulb moment perhaps. And that is and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, but I was thinking, this is a 70,000 word book. People these days, because I know myself, are time poor. They just want to know exactly what to do. They don't want to read 70,000 words. They want to read 7,000 words. They want step by step broken down. They want something that is quick and easy to implement. something that is they're going to digest quickly, they're going to understand exactly the first time, and they can implement because it's incredibly practical. So I've decided to turn Financial Freedom, my third book, into a handbook, an ebook, and it will be straight to the point. And it is inspired by my financial mentor, Peter Thornhill's teaching. So that will be coming in 2026, I promise. However, quietly, and I can't share too much information about this, but I actually wrote another book. It is coming, and it will be coming also in 2026 in the second half. And I'm really proud about this. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to share anything quite yet. I'll be in a lot of trouble if I do, but please know there is technically a third book coming and also a handbook as well, which is separate. So how did I go with this? Again, another pass and fail outcome, but it has definitely been, I guess, creatively recreated and reimagined. And what I have learned is that flexibility when it comes to your goals is actually really powerful. When you just let go of perfectionism and you lean into purpose and the vision and being someone of service, the work that you're doing becomes way more impactful, and it fuels you with so much more energy and determination and even resilience. So it's a mixed feeling about this particular one, and I'm excited about this workbook that I'm creating for you because I know it's going to be so helpful, but it is really cool what I have coming your way, which you're also going to love, and it's also very, very practical. And finally, goal number 5. And this was a big one for me, and honestly, I have completely failed at this spectacularly, and that was having a goal to try and finish my work at 3 p.m. every single day. I had this intention of creating these beautiful, slow, peaceful afternoons with my kids where I could rock up to school pickup at the gate at 3 p.m., take them to the park, maybe get them an ice cream, have this really relaxing late afternoon with them, homework, all those sorts of things, just dream-like school pickup and, create a sense of balance. But the reality of running multiple businesses, creating content, managing a home with 3 young kids, 3 big dogs that need a lot of exercise, writing books, podcasting, and doing a lot of solo parenting because Tom lives between here and Hong Kong 50% of the time. The maths just didn't work. There were just not enough hours in the day for me to be able to pull up stumps at 3 p.m. And as any working parent knows, it's not pulling up stumps at 3 p.m. It's pulling up stumps at 2:30 to race to the school gate to make sure that they're on time. Now, I really tried at this, and the more I tried, the more I failed, because what actually ended up happening to me was I started to get really frustrated at myself. I was constantly rushing, and because I was constantly rushing, I was actually creating more chaos in my life. This goal really, to be honest, it backfired on me. And I just became short-tempered, snappy, impatient, and that's not who I am. So I had to accept reality. My children now do after-school care, and Apple does after-school care 3 days a week. And what that means is I get a longer block to get through my work. I'm not having to suddenly, watch the clock all the time. It buys me an extra couple of hours. And that has then meant that I do pick her up at 5 o'clock, but I'm also a lot calmer. I'm way more present. And I'm then a better mother so that I can pick them up, have fun, have a bit of a laugh. And yes, we have to race home to have dinner and, do all the bed bath and books and homework and stuff like that. But at least I've got my work sorted for the day. And yes, I'm disappointed in myself. Yes, I wish I could pull up stumps at 2:30, 3 o'clock. But unfortunately, that's not the reality of myself. And I need to be kind. And I need to be real. And I also need to accept I'm a working mother. I work pretty much full time, but in all sort of odd hours throughout the week. So yes, I failed. But doing this has made me, I think, more authentic, more honest, wiser, and a lot more mature. So what have I learned from this? Well, I've learned that, and this is a saying that everyone says, particularly working mums, and that is you can't have it all. I've learned that I can have a lot, but I can't have it all, and I definitely can't have all of those things at the same time. Balance isn't always this soft, angelic, flowing, gentle way of life. It sometimes has to be structured and rigid, but it also needs to be really practical and real. So that's where I'm sitting with that. I failed, but it is what it is, and my kids can see that I am trying my absolute best. All right, so now that I have shared all of this with you, and I look back and reflect on these 5 goals, there is one thing that really does stand out to me. This wasn't actually a year about achieving. This was very much a year about awakening. I learned how to slow down with investing, and that's something I've never done before because I've always been consistently investing on a regular basis. I've also learned how to honor my own intuition, listen to my gut, know that, for example, the timing wasn't right with this debt recycling strategy. I've also learned to put my family before plans. Yes, I really want a new kitchen. I want it badly, but I know that the swimming pool is actually going to be way better for my family. And also, of course, one of my own big goals. I've also learned that to pivot boldly when life shifts. Pivoting is absolutely fine. Pivoting is still achieving goals. I think pivoting is actually such a sign of your own personal growth because it means how connected and aware you are as to what your big picture, your big goal is all about. And you're willing to grow and work with that in order to help make it happen. I've also learned to choose creativity over perfectionism and to embrace compromise instead of just creating and chasing this completely unrealistic goal or idea that's actually only going to leave you burnt out, frustrated, and disappointed at yourself. That is of no good to yourself. It does not serve you in any way possible. So financial goals are never really ever just financial, are they? They're emotional. They're spiritual even, and they're lifestyle defining. And they really do identify and shape who we are and who we are growing to become. They reflect the life that we're building, not just the numbers. So if you set some goals for yourself this year and you didn't hit them at all, or you only hit a few of them, listen to this. Sometimes the universe redirects you to a better place. Sometimes your priorities naturally shift because they need to. Sometimes what doesn't happen is actually protecting you. And sometimes what actually falls apart clears the space for something that is so much better. Now, yes, I'm going to be setting my goals for 2026 very soon. I actually finish my year at the beginning of December. The 1st of December is actually when my goal opportunity ends. That's when the door closes. If you've done my mindset manifestation program, you'll know all about this, but it's a very clever strategy that I use so I make myself way more accountable with time. So now that I've capped 2025, the book has been closed. It's now a beautiful time where I can just reflect. I'm starting to think about some of the goals I want to achieve for 2026, and I've already got a couple in mind that I'm sort of sitting on thinking about. So I will most definitely be sharing these with you in just a couple of weeks as we enter 2026. But I'm definitely going to be looking at these goals with so much more grace and so much more adaptability, and also, of course, without a doubt, the same fiery intention about living in a mindful way, but also with an abundant mindset. So thank you everybody for listening to Sugar Mama's Fire Play for 2025. I am financial planner Canna Campbell, and as always, keep your financial fire burning bright within. This is Sugar Mama's Fire Play.